discuss what's going on with networks and how MIFID and the CAT are going to wind up impacting the whole issue of TCA and best execution is Tim Carmody. Tim is the VP of Network Engineering for IPC. Tim, welcome to Tabb Forum.
Thank you, Larry.
So when we look at what's going on with best execution, and especially when you look at MIFID and increasingly the CAT, what are some of the challenges that firms really have in terms of measuring and understanding and putting all this information together to really get a good understanding of best execution?
Sure. Well, certainly one of them is very granular and stable clock synchronization. Mm-hmm. So MIFID 2 has a requirement with RTS 25 that you have to have a 100 microsecond clock granularity. Mm-hmm. And then CAT NMS is also introducing some of those legislations as well with differing varieties.
So basically, a tenth of a millisecond, you've got to in effect clock sync to. Is that difficult? Is that easy? Can I just, log on and sync to a GPS network or something just to get that?
No, it's a little bit more difficult than that. One of the things you have to worry about is whether you have a stable clock, mm-hmm. and you generally want multiple sources to arbitrate from to ensure you have a stable clock.
So how do you wind up doing that, and what does that mean for firms?
Sure. So one of the things that IPC has an advantage of is we've actually had our own clocking network for many, many years. Mm-hmm. We've needed it to underpin our networking infrastructure. So we have a variety of clocks around the world in all the major financial centers, and we arbitrate from those. Mm-hmm. So that infrastructure is really necessary to give you that kind of stable clock and that ability. The other thing that's in the regulation is the ability to have reporting to mm-hmm. guarantee that you're getting the clock from the right place. And it's called traceability back to the source.
Okay, so now how does this actually work? So my servers are actually mine, right? So mm-hmm. the network is yours. So do I wind up, leveraging your network for the clock sync, or do I, how do I arbitrate that?
Sure. So we've launched a product called Connexus Chrono, mm-hmm. which offers a couple of different varieties of that. One is you can get a P2P, which is a really granular source mm-hmm. from us, either locally at the co-location where your servers most likely are, or over a fiber-based network that we can provide from our 140 POPs.
So you're then sending me a time signal, which then I update my, keep my server sync to, or when I put something on the network, I just leverage that time sync, or kind of both?
Yeah, so your server will register with our service, and you'll get the signal from us, either as a unicast signal or multicast signal, depending on what you're interested in.
And so that I don't need to embed that infrastructure and develop it myself?
Yeah, that's correct. So one of the advantages of going to a managed service like Connexus Chrono is that it's a lower total cost of ownership for you. So we handle all of the clocking, all of the arbitration. We do something called best master clock algorithm that arbitrates the feeds, and we just hand you the source as a service. So it's timing as a service.
That's interesting. So now, does 100 microseconds, mean 100 microseconds, or is that 100 microseconds means actually I have to be quicker than 100 microseconds because in case there's some pop delays or something like that?
Yeah, so one of the things that our customers have told us quite a bit about is how long it takes them to get the time sync into the source or the stack of the software. So we actually offer P2P Premium, which is a 1 microsecond granularity, so that you can get a very stable source to give you some more overhead to do that, more budget to do that.
Interesting. So where do you see this playing out? How do you see people using this? Just the clock sync for their server mechanisms, or is it really more going into the venue and routing analytics, or is it just all the above to staying current with the regulations?
Yeah, I think it's all the above. I mean, we initially launched the product because of MIFID 2, but we saw a lot of early interest from fintech and ISV firms interested in it. But we now see a wide spectrum of our customers, sell side, buy side, hedge funds, algos, all interested in the service. Mm-hmm. Because they have all different needs to do this for regulatory compliance or for their own sanity in some cases. Now, we are global. We serve every market in the world. We have about 140 POPs globally. Mm-hmm. Our Connexus Chrono products available in about 50 of those today.
Oh, so major trading centers, I assume?
All major trading centers. We have 75 execution venues on network, about 6,000 on-net customer sites.
Oh, okay. So most of the clients out there are connected to you some way or another, so
Correct,
you can service them. Interesting. So we're going to move away from this 1 second or half a second environment we're in now, where you can basically drive a Mack truck through the time sync
Yes.
issues. It's really interesting and excellent that somebody can help these firms get to the level of clock sync that we really need in this industry to ensure that we're compliant with MIFID, we're compliant with the CAT, and that most folks are already connected to. So Tim, thanks for joining us on Tabb Forum. Tim Carmody, the VP of Global Engineering from IPC. Thanks, Tim, for joining us on Tabb Forum.
Thank you, Larry.